Okay, it is, we're live, so the mic's on.
All right.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We'll try and keep this brief. I know everybody's busy, it's a busy time of year. We're gonna start with some introductions just so that you know who's all here. I'll go ahead and start. I'm Megan Delaney. I'm the current pre-K teacher at John Glenn. This is my 7th year teaching pre-K at Glenn. I also student taught in the district in 1st grade and kindergarten, so I've been at Glenn for a while. I'm currently out on maternity leave, but I will be back in April. So if you've sent me an email, it's taken me a few days to get back. I am there, just not fully back yet. So,
Okay. My name is Tara James. I'm the pre-K teacher at Grissom. This is my 7th year at Grissom. I did 4 years in preschool there, and then now I've been in pre-K for 3 years.
I'm Kyle.Harris, the principal out at Grissom Elementary. And as our two schools have the 2 pre-K programs, I help oversee pre-K program.
And I'm Erin Payson. I'm the principal at John Glenn. This is my 2nd year there serving as principal, but my 18th year in the district.
yes. So we're just here to kind of give you some more information about our pre-K program. We're going to run through kind of the differences between pre-K and K, the process, kind of what the program looks like. And then if you have specific questions at the end about your kiddo, you can find one of us and we can kind of walk you through that. So, all right. Sorry, I'm moving sides. I'm looking the wrong way. Okay, so just a little bit about the program in general. So it is an all-day, everyday program, which is different from the 4-year-old preschool program. So it follows the district calendar. We have the same days off, the same breaks, 8:05 to 3:05, Monday through Friday. So they will eat lunch at school, unlike kindergarten. We do have the 2 classrooms, like we said. I'm at Glenn and Tara's at Grissom. We each have a full-time classroom aide, which is really nice. It makes our ratio a little bit smaller, which is, it's always good to have extra hands in those early childhood classrooms. So we kept our classrooms at 20, so each of us can have up to 20 kiddos. For eligibility, it's the same as kindergarten. So your kiddo has to be 5 by September 15th to come to our program. So same eligibility for kindergarten. It's just for those kiddos that need an extra year. So whether it's socially and emotionally, academically, both, we see all of it. So they get specials just like kindergarten. So your kiddo will get art and music and library, guidance and gym. Busing is available. And I know that's a big question, is the busing. So I'm gonna have Kyle talk about that at the end. But just so you know, busing is available for everywhere in our district. The standards and benchmarks, you guys have a little bit more in detail on your tables, but we do cover the main areas. So social emotional development, approaches to learning, knowledge of print, literacy, communication, writing, math, and fine motor. We run 3 trimesters just like kindergarten. You will get report cards in each of those trimesters, and then the 2 parent-teacher conferences. So a lot of similarities between the 2 programs.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences between kindergarten and pre-K. So like Megan said, there are a lot of similarities, but there are also a lot of differences. I guess the biggest difference that I can think of right off the top of my head is that we're like kindergarten, but at a little bit slower pace. So in pre-K, we do have a quiet time, so the kiddos do take, in my room, I turn the lights down, put some soft music on, and they do rest quietly. They don't have to go to sleep, because I hear a lot of parents say, but they don't nap anymore. And I will tell you, like, most of the time, most of my students do fall asleep, but I think they're just pretty wore out after a whole morning of work. Again, they do not have to. I always just tell them, we just need to rest. We need to be quiet and give our minds a break. And so it usually goes really well. They can bring a little mat to rest on, so we make it nice and cozy and calm. In kindergarten, they just have like more of a quiet time after lunch and recess. I think the teacher just does some calm activities with them. They are able to like read books and just sit quietly on their resting area. Our ratio is a little bit smaller in pre-K. Again, we cap at 20. Kindergarten can have 20 or more children. We do have an aide in pre-K, so that helps like us to give your kiddos like a little bit more individualized attention. Again, what I said earlier, in pre-K things are just covered at a lot slower pace, a little bit slower pace. Let me see. We still cover a lot of the same standards as they do in kindergarten. Again, kindergarten just takes it a little bit faster. In pre-K, we work a lot on building up that stamina for work so that when the kiddos do go to kindergarten, they are able to handle that more academic rigor. We do a lot of social emotional learning in pre-K, which is often why a lot of kiddos are there in the first place. So we do that through play scenarios, how would we handle sharing, how do we handle disagreements, how do we take care of ourselves. So a lot of working on those independent self-help skills and getting along with friends and things like that. Let's see. In pre-K, we get students from all over the district, so your kiddo will probably become friends with kiddos from another town. It's not necessarily the same kiddos that they'll go to kindergarten with. In kindergarten, let's finish the pre-K list. So I guess when thinking about pre-K, it's nice just to be able to allow your kiddo that extra year just to grow and get ready for kindergarten, so that they can start the year in kindergarten confident and ready to learn in all ways, both academically and social emotionally. At the end of kindergarten, kiddos are usually reading. In pre-K, we do have some kids who are reading. If they're ready, we will take that step and work on that with them. But some kiddos are not ready for that, and that's okay. We kind of, are able to, because of the smaller class size, work in those smaller groups and work on the skills that your kids need.
I'd say that's one of the bigger questions we get too. Like, what if my kiddo is ready academically, social emotionally they're not? Is pre-K gonna hold them back? And definitely not. We will meet your kiddo where they're at. If they're ready to read, they'll be reading. So that is a big question that we get. Just because they do need that extra social emotional, they'll get that extra academic as well.
And then, and if your kiddo is going to kindergarten, they will attend their home elementary school, whereas, like I mentioned before, pre-K, it's not necessarily at your home school.
All right, so just kind of the process of how to get your kiddo into pre-K. So this is the first thing you're all here attending the meeting. I know some of you went to Roundup and to the pre-K meeting just because you weren't sure which one you were kind of leaning towards. So that green paper is really important to get back to me because that's how I'll know you were here. So attend the meeting. The enrollment form, again, if you did not check in with one of us at the beginning, make sure that we have your information. It's more for the contact information part of it, so we need to make sure you have that filled out. It is on a first come, first served basis. We do it by need, so we have reached out to all your preschools. They have sent recommendations in. If you're out of the district, we can get in touch with your preschool as well, because we do it based on need, and then that wait list if you need it. Again, contact the preschool. You will get. Normally we try by May to send that initial letter out with your building assignment. So since we do have just the two programs, you will either go to Grissom or you'll go to Glenn. Historically, I have taken the Glenn and Shepherd kids normally, and Tara has taken Armstrong and Grissom, and then Eldridge, it just kind of depends how many kiddos we have and which way they go. So July will be the confirmation with all that busing info if you are going to be bused. Again, if you're on both lists right now, which is okay, if you're on kindergarten, you're on pre-K, you're not quite sure, as soon as you make a decision, either way, just let us know so that we can let kindergarten know or we can plan accordingly for pre-K. So, all right. So here comes the part with questions. Does anybody have general questions that they want to ask? I know a lot, if you have a specific child connect or question, we can talk at the end, but are there any general questions?
I just have a question. Our daughter, she's like barely on the cutoff for like kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't want her to go to kindergarten, so if we'd be on the wait list, could she do like another year of 4-year-old preschool.
When is her birthday?
September 7th.
Okay, talk with me after. I just
Okay.
want to check her year and make sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 7 people watching online.
Perfect.
Can you tell them what they should do since they have no green paper?
Yes. Okay, so if you are watching online, go ahead and, I don't have contact information up there, I was not prepared for that. Reach out to one of the elementary schools. Call Grissom or call Glenn, just to make sure that we have your information. If you have not filled out that kindergarten enrollment form, it is on our district website. So fill out that form, mark that you are interested in pre-K. I'm gonna compare our 2 lists after this meeting anyways. So if you're already filled out that form and you already marked pre-K, you should be good to go. If you haven't done that, please do that. And then call over to either Grissom or Glenn for us.
And something I would add for that too is that if you attended Roundup, you filled in, you did the online registration, you went to Roundup, but at the time maybe you were unaware of pre-K or you hadn't been thinking of it yet, so you didn't mark pre-K on yours. But now you talked with preschool, you're here, you're thinking about it. Just again, let one of us know. And Megan probably caught a lot of those early on too, but just so that we know, because when we're going back through just sorting them out, we want to make sure that we don't miss anybody on that as well too. That just helps us then as we're looking at our sections and sorting them out. As Megan was saying, busing a lot of times is one of the bigger questions. So how busing works for us, we do provide busing to all of our buildings here in the district. For our so if you're here in Eldridge, that's where we have to kind of plot it out and see where everybody is, and after this meeting when we can compare our list and look at that. But the busing can go out to John Glenn or it can go out to Virgil Grissom. They pick up at Ed White, and then from there they pick up from Shepherd going one way, they pick up at Neil Armstrong going the other way through Parkview. Those are the newer buses that we have in the district. That's one thing that I always like to kind of throw out there too, is we have the brand new buses that have the harnesses built in. So our youngest students are harnessed in and buckled in too. And we've got fantastic bus drivers with that too. But I do know that that's oftentimes a concern that people might have. But we've got the brand new buses with the harnesses for those bus trips too. But I'm happy to help answer some bus questions afterwards too. But we do from Eldridge start here at Ed White and then kind of work our way out to the 2 sections.
Yeah.
How would you sign up for something like that, like for the busing?
For the busing, so through registration, we would just put you in contact with Luann Bakey, who's our transportation director. And once we kind of have our list kind of figured out, then that's kind of the next step is getting everybody in touch with Luann too. But she's fantastic. She lets us know bus schedules and where everybody's getting picked up and all that too. So once we get people settled, then if you need busing, then we just kind of check the box and get people going there.
And if your homeschool is John Glenn, you'll write your normal John Glenn route. Same with Grissom. If your homeschool is Grissom, you'll write the normal Grissom route. So if they have a sibling, I know that's a question we get a lot too. So they will ride with that sibling. So. Any other general questions?
Well, we'll hang around here for a bit. Any one of us, we're happy to answer questions, jot down notes. If we don't have an answer right away for you, we'll kind of figure some things out and get back in touch with you. Make sure if you haven't gotten the green sheets to Megan that we get those. Again, if you are watching from home, you can email myself, Kyle.Harris, Megan Delaney, Tara James, or Aaron Payson, just so we've got information for everybody that's interested in pre-K. So thank you again for coming out tonight.
Thank you. And again, just that white and green one, if you just want to put it back on the table, and kind of hang out if you guys have questions.
If anyone's nervous and just needs a parent testimonial,